Ladies and gentlemen, that royalty-free theme music can only mean one thing. The Legit Football NFL podcast is back. That's right. You heard me right. I'm Kevin Phillip Fox here, and I will be your chauffeur. I will be your MC, and I will take you guys down the rabbit hole of NFL happenings. It is, correct me if I'm wrong, week 8? We blinked. We blinked and it's week 8. Oh my God, I'm nauseous. I'm sick to my stomach. That sort of signals in a way. Oh yeah, and you can tell our sound effects producer is hard at work already. But that sort of signals in a way, sort of like a weird halfway point. I mean, most teams who have had their buys, it's only a third of the way through their season because they play 17 games, but it's sort of halfway through the NFL calendar-ish. Anyways, math is hard. I'm not here alone, and I would never be here alone because I am an extremely codependent person, and probably my number one codependency in my life is my partner in prime, to quote Brian McFadden, from down under, Mr. Adrian Revito.
Great music.
Oh, yeah. Give yourself the royalty-free music.
I timed this very poorly because it should have been coming now. Anyway,
maybe a little, rusty.
I'm rusty. That's what it is.
We're just shaking off the rust, man. It's all good. How are you?
I am fantastic. I have to ask the important question that I think people want to know. Is that chauffeur spelled traditionally or chauffeur SHOW-fur?
The first one.
That's silly. I feel like you missed the layup.
You're talking chauffeur like Austin Powers, like I'm unbuttoned and I got a hairy chest, like I'm showing fur.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, that's also a layup. You missed 2 layups. No, it's terrible. Let's move on. I'm fantastic. How are you?
Oh, dude, I'm so good, man. I'm just happy to be back. I love the clean new layout. Legit Football, we're always rebranding. We're always up in the game, these days. And I have a feeling in the not so distant future we'll be up in the game even more. But in the meantime, we have our budget third host. No, I'm just kidding. Ain't nothing budget about this handsome devil, the manna from Indiana, Hamburglar himself, Jimmy Ray. Jimmy, welcome back to the pod.
Dude, I want to scream again so loud, but I don't want to hurt the headphone users. I was screaming before we started.
Jimmy likes doing that.
I'm in a screaming mood today.
Yeah, that's a new trend for
excellent.
Jimmy. Well,
yeah, there's something going on. I don't know why. I can't help
but think based on the hat that you're wearing that you might have the reasons to shout.
Sometimes I wear like non-biased stuff like you guys are right now. Like, don't show my true colors. But
I'm very biased. Frank Ocean, baby.
Oh, are you? Oh,
one of my favorite artists, man. I'm very biased.
That's not biased at all, brother.
I'm very biased in favor of Frank Ocean and his
objectively
music.
Objectively good.
No, just goated. So, fellas, we got a podcast to conduct here, and I couldn't be more excited. I've just desperately missed you guys, and I've desperately missed talking NFL. I've desperately missed the so far 102 viewers in our chat room. Please be active in the comments. We always pin comments. We'll always talk about whatever you guys say. Take us down weird rabbit holes, but I miss our regulars, man. I'm hoping for some appearances from Armand. I know Hunter Honeyball couldn't be here for the pod, but I think he's going to stop in and say hello. Hopefully we can get him back for the next one because we all know the electricity that is Honeyball. Anyways, without further ado, my first idea for a segment, and maybe the most important thing that we have to do, is the off-season darling mid-season check-in, and I think we should go in order of worst to best. So
Adrian?
If we wanted to talk about that off-season darling, I believe it was it Adrian who one of our off-season darlings was it? Wait, they're not in the loss column. They're undefeated, or no, actually. They're not in the win column. They're only defeated. So not undefeated. They're defeated.
Time moves fast. Time moves fast because I've got to say, like, about 14 seconds ago, I really missed you guys, and now I'm like, did I though? Did you miss the right word, or is it just kind of like an addict who has to go back to it?
What's the Australian version for flipping someone off?
Yeah, flipping someone off just with more swearing, which I can't do because we're a family-friendly show. Yeah, this has been a rough one, boys. You know what? And if I'm not jumping ship. I'm sticking with the Jets. They're gonna suck this year. That's fine. But I should have gone the Falcons. That was my other option. And I couldn't pick them because they made the playoffs previously. But man, I wish the Bucks were still my darlings. They still are in my heart. But the Jets, I have a solution. Are you ready? This is the solution. Step one, we get all of the Jets into a gigantic minibus car, bus. This is everyone, players, coaching staff, owner especially. We drive them out to the middle of Nebraska, in the middle of 2 cornfields on a back dirt road, take them out, spin them around 3 times, drive off. Okay, they're lost, they're gone, they're done. Then now that doesn't erase history, right? But then we bring in our nearest or dearest authoritarian regime, and we just start wiping the books. Anything that says New York Jets is gone, right? We just start cutting them out. Yeah, anyone who mentions them suddenly gets pulled up on by a van, disappears. It's just like people are scared to say them in the streets. Suddenly, a new team comes in. They look similar. They kind of look like they maybe were in Jets players' skin suits, but they're like, I don't know, like the New York Empires, and everyone just goes on as normal. That is, the Empires have always been.
The New York Empires is great.
Yeah,
That goes
Namath
crazy.
played for them. Like, they are just like, they're just accepted as part of history. The books are rewritten, and we never have to deal with the New York Jets again. Your thoughts?
I think, yeah, I'll sign my name on whatever petition makes that happen.
I'm against it.
Well, yeah, I'm actually, let me rephrase that. As a Bills fan, I feel like it would be irresponsible for me to let the Jets' history be wiped clean. That's 2 free wins a year. We're going to keep the Jets the way they are, and I apologize, Adrian. You just had a bad pick.
It was a good plan. It was a good follow-up plan, but terrible pick.
If you hadn't gotten your text in so quickly, I might have taken them. I told you it was the Fields and the rookie coach of it all that freaked me out. Okay, Fields he just hasn't ever looked like an NFL quarterback.
I really thought it felt like the culture was swinging, and they had all the right markers early on. And to talk the actual football of it, I mean, a couple of injuries have hurt them, but let's not blame it on that. There's been kind of reports about Aaron Glenn just laying into him. Like, I think the thing with he keeps talking about his time in Detroit, and I think the thing, if you guys remember that, I think it was, what would it have been, 3-14 season with Detroit. Like, Dan Campbell came to the podium every week, like literally, not figuratively, literally in tears. He had these guys plugged in, and this team was like ready to play. They came to every game and competed, but they were just losing. Yeah. And that was like the hallmark, like, okay, we're about to get better. Aaron Glenn's team does not feel like they're competing. He's laying into them. Then there's been little snips in public comments. So I don't know what's going to happen here, boys, but I do know that the Jets are probably headed for a high. Well, not probably. They're headed for a high draft pick. The scary part is the bottom of the league is so terrible that if you win 2 or 3 games, you might be picking number 6.
Yeah, I think at this point the Jets should be pushing their chips in on a tank, which maybe, honestly, in a weird way, you almost probably think they should start Fields. I feel like Tyrod might be able to fall bum backwards into a couple W's. So I feel like they should probably just pull Fields, but I didn't hate the pick, Adrian. I think your analysis for why it didn't work out. So let's really quickly, before we move to Jimmy. Jimmy, did you have a darling team?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. I for some reason it's escaping me at the moment.
I also have an idea for the Jets.
I do. Oh, okay. Before we get to Jimmy's idea for the Jets, we do have a commenter, and we did encourage commenting. I'm wondering if this is maybe like a horse reference. We're being called nays from a woman called Dawn Brolin, who I'm not too familiar with her. I'm just kidding. That's one of my best friend's mother. She's one of the greatest people on the planet. And I think she thinks Adrian is from England, which is super prejudiced of you, Dawn.
This is the second time
he's actually from Australia. So yeah, he's European, just generally
European, apparently.
He's just a general European, like a vague general European. And Dawn seems to be excited to get her comments on the chat. We love Dawn on this podcast. I'm going to be spending a week with Dawn in Las Vegas next week. So pray for my wallet, ladies and gentlemen.
Love it.
Pray for my wallet. All right, Jimmy, let's talk about how we're going to fix the Jets.
I think they should merge with the New York Giants and make the New York
super team.
New York Gents.
The Gaints. Remember,
I
think they could be maybe a playoff team if they merge.
I kind of love that.
I don't hate it at all.
Yeah, I'm kind of into that, actually. Like,
I mean, Jackson Dart, you got
you get Garrett Wilson and Malik Neighbors when he comes back. That's kind of a nasty one too. Yeah, I'm into it. Scadaboo and Breece Hall.
Breece Hall. That's a good 1-2 punch. You got Brian Burns.
The New York.
I mean, I think this might be a perfect fit.
I am super into it.
Adrian can't take credit for it, though.
I think Dawn's implying here that Australian and English is the same, and that again, super prejudiced. But we're just gonna
There's
pretend.
something. Yeah, I think
We're just gonna pretend there's
block
not
that.
hate speech going on in our chat right now. We're gonna keep chugging along. Jimmy, let's talk about your off-season darling team because I'm sure they're not as good as mine.
It's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Whoa!
Duval.
Duval.
No, I mean,
Come
listen.
on.
When I picked him, I knew I wasn't going to pick the Colts. That feels like cheating in some ways. I mean, I can't pick my Homer Hill team, but
We also thought it would be a terrible pick, honestly, at the time, and I'm sure you did too.
yeah, it wasn't bad. I think Hunter was the only person on my side there. I mean, they had 4 wins last year. The bright sides, the reason I picked them was Travis Hunter, Liam Cohen coming in. Brian Thomas
Yep.
has not been.
What's up with that? Let's talk about that.
He's a scared little boy when it comes to running in the middle and making the pass and getting hit. It doesn't seem to work out. Travis Hunter did this is the perfect time to have a podcast because Travis Hunter had 8 catches, 100-something yards,
Starting to break
a
out.
touchdown.
Yep.
He's getting snaps on both sides of the ball. He's honestly making plays on both sides of the ball. But overall, if it wasn't for the greatest team in the NFL, they would be on top of the division, looking at a playoff spot. But they've matched their win total from last year this year, so I think it's a win in my book. So
Oh,
I don't know about
absolutely.
you guys, I think this is looked as a decent enough year for the Jaguars so far.
I think it's a mid-season check-in, right? So we're not hanging any banners here. Because if
I
we
will.
were, well, okay, you get a mid-season. My off-season darling team is in a wild card slot banner.
Yeah, as a Colts fan, we
Congratulations.
hang banners all the time, and then
That's
send
true.
it to Pardon My Take.
That's true. That's actually one of my biggest beefs that I have with Dawn Brolin and her daughter Emily is that there was a lot of banners being flown in their country, which I'll give a little spoiler because we do have to talk about the Jaguars a little bit more, but they're in the New England country and they have a lot of banners right now. We'll talk about that in a second.
Do they?
There's a lot of banners going on in New England. I don't know if you guys have heard about the division right now and the standings, but we'll talk about it. Jimmy, what a call! Way to put your cojones on the table with Trevor Lawrence and ETN is like I said, he was a dynasty buy, and I was very into the ETN uptick, and seeing Bigsby traded kind of feels like they've settled into their 1-2 punch there.
The ETN was probably the most shocking.
Yeah, ETN
so
is
far.
balling. Yeah, he's having.
I wouldn't say Trevor
season.
Lawrence has been like, whoa, this guy's like a Drake May level, but we can talk about that in a second.
Not a world beater. All right. See, it's kind of a knife twisting for me because you guys obviously know I'm not thrilled about it, but I can I can only play the board as it lies before me. We'll talk about it. I just want to say Jacksonville, kind of sneaky good defense. They punched the Chiefs in the mouth on Monday Night Football. Trevor Lawrence with the fancy I'm gonna fall on my bum and then score a touchdown. You gotta respect it. Kind of the ugliest game-winning touchdown I've maybe ever seen. But that's all that wins a win, right? So you do have to give credit where it's due with Jacksonville. Kind of crashing down to earth in London last week against the Rams. Hopefully that's not a sign of what's to come, because they could put it together and really make a run at a wild card spot in the AFC. And the reason that it would only be wild card is because of your Colts. And again, we have a time machine segment coming up after this before our game previews, and I wonder if we'll be talking about that other team in that division who's doing pretty well. Adrian, before we move to my offseason darling team, what are your quick hit thoughts on the Jags?
Anything I say is going to sound like a hater because I'm obviously I am. Is the wooden spoon? Do you guys say is someone on the bottom on the ladder of any sort of ladder wooden spoon? Is that that's an Australian thing, isn't it?
Not familiar with that
Why is there a spoon on
colloquialism.
the bottom of the ladder?
Doesn't really make sense to me.
I don't have the answer for where it's come from, but in Australian League football, the last place is the wooden spoon, quote unquote. I'm not a big fan, so I just know the term. But anyway,
You're the wooden spoon for sure.
Sounds
the point
like
I was
you're a big
making.
fan.
No, love it. Heavy sarcasm. So, I think the Jags, though, I will say this without sounding like a hater, they're a 4-3 team, but like they're not a 4-3 team if that makes any sense. Like I don't think Trevor Lawrence is. I think we can kind of accept him as, I don't know, mediocre now. I don't want to jump too much, but we keep waiting for him to get better. Yeah, that fall to beat the Chiefs and then get like that. 9 out of 10 times that doesn't happen. Yeah, he got like lucky then. They got drilled by the Rams. They got beaten by the Seahawks. They've made tons and tons of mistakes. Even Liam Cohen kind of he's had a couple weird like time management issues.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I mean, I will give you props because they look like they were kind of getting it together despite the Brian Thomas drops, kind of costing him a game. But I just don't know if I believe them to be a playoff team.
Yeah, and I think
AFC sucks. You never know.
I think what Adrian's trying to say, and what I wish he would say with his chest is, Jimmy, your team is a fraud. He's saying they're the offseason fraudlings, and in several weeks, you're going to be walking back your confidence that you have on this podcast. Is that correct, Adrian?
No, because
Oh.
the reason no, because look at this. This is this remaining schedule, right? Just hear me out. Raiders, Texans.
Win.
All right, I'm gonna skip the good games. These are the crappy games. I almost swore.
Oh.
Raiders, Texans, Cardinals, Titans, Jets. Okay, and then they've got the Colts twice, which they will lose. They've got the Chargers, and they've got the Broncos, which is a kind
It'll be
of toss up.
They'll win at home against the Colts, though.
You reckon?
Unless it's the greatest season of all time. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
just don't buy
I
them.
do see a split there. I
I don't
think
know. Maybe.
we'll talk about the Colts in a little bit, so we don't want to give away the farm, but anyways,
There's a path to 9 or 10 wins,
You
but I just don't. If they hit the playoffs, they're out in one round. They are one and done. That I would
Absolutely.
with my chest.
I
yeah,
hope
I
so.
think we
will
can
have
all I think we can all agree upon that.
I hope
Now
so.
the mark of if we're chasing King of the Hill, the mark of a true successful offseason darling team is that they win a playoff game.
That's true.
I'm just
Oh,
saying
is it?
because I've had
Okay.
that I've had that 2 years in a row, and I don't want to talk too soon. But if Dawn Brolin is stuck around for this part of the podcast, I'm sure we're going to hear her loud mouth yapping in the comments. But as you all know, I went against my instinct. I went against my hopes and wishes. I was not wish casting, but I play the board as I see it. I have a formula, and this team happened to tick the boxes. And unfortunately, my offseason darling pick of the New England Patriots is coming to fruition in quite aggressive fashion. They are 5-2. They do sit atop the AFC East right now. So I think quite obviously Drake May looks like one of the sharpest tools in the shed. He looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. Their platooning wide receiver system is working. Diggs, ACL who, 32 years old who, 10 catches for 153 yards in front of my face. I brought the family out to New York for that game. And the whiteout was cool. The jerseys were cool.
The jerseys were cool.
The result was kind of sickening. Yeah, so the Patriots offseason darling, and let's be real, not let's call it what it is. They're playing a fourth place schedule. So they're going to continue to have week after week after week games against Cleveland, Tennessee, New Orleans. I don't see this slowing down. I'm pretty confident that they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not 100% sure that they're going to win the division. I still feel respectfully quite confident that my Bills will right the ship and get back in the driver's seat of the division. I mean, realistically, right? Like, Vegas is still, Bills are still minus like 260 to win the division. So Vegas is kind of backing me on this, but
I'll bet that.
I will say, unfortunately, if they get to 9 wins, I do owe Emily and her husband a night at Chili's on my dime. So I'm pretty sure triple dippers and chips and salsa and honey chipotle chicken crispers will be flying that night.
You love Chili's, though.
I love Chili's. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a costly night, but it's going to be a great night. So hopefully they don't get to 9 wins. It's not too late. But unfortunately, of the three of us,
That's high hopes. That's high hopes.
yeah, I know. They might get there by Thanksgiving. So unfortunately, by these standards, I am the current clubhouse leader in the offseason darling race, and I hope to God I falter, but at this rate, it's looking like a night of Chili's is going to be on Kev, and it's looking like we're gonna have a nice little AFC East slugfest here, and I hope the Bills welcome the challenge. I hope they take it on the jaw and just come back. I think that's who they've proven to be over the years. If we talk about it in the time machine segment, if we talk about it in the game previews, my panic meter for the Bills is at like a 4, if I'm being honest.
Nothing to worry about there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is kind of an annual early season lull that just kind of is frustrating, but it happens. Ladies and gentlemen, if we're gonna get through the games, we're lucky it's by apocalypse. So, do you guys want to talk quick hit thought takes on the Patriots before we move on?
You know what? I'm gonna give you a quick bit of flowers here because I have historically been a hater of your I'm the off-season darling, and that's only because I'm a terrible loser. And I think we've kind of come to learn that by now. But this was a really good pick, and Drake May. We kind of saw it had all the right signs early on last year with nothing around him. He sort of showed he had the skills, and now like Pop Douglas and Mac Hollins are making plays, and Keyshawn Booty and like
the platoon.
Yeah, if Vrabel's kind of got him coming ready to play, and he's doing what Patriots fans, I was going to say what you'd hope, but not you, but what Patriots fans would have hoped he was going to be doing. And it's awesome to see. Look, you know what? Now that we're a little bit disconnected from the Belichick Brady dynasty. How do you
we know what you mean.
Whatever you say.
You say dynasty, but
whatever you say is correct.
Yeah, okay. I'll just call it like tomato. Like I'll just say it completely wrong.
Just say tomato.
So
we get it.
Yeah. So now that we're a bit removed from that, and we've got the Chiefs to hate, I'm kind of on board with this sort of young upstart team, and yeah, I like it, man. I love a good story, and I love Drake May coming out. He kind of was initially loved, and then he sort of fell a little bit, but man, they got a dude there. And weird. The only thing I'm going to say about the Patriots, like. And this goes against the fact that Ramondre Stevenson had a really great game. Like he keeps fumbling, man. Henderson. Like there was so much fight for Henderson. What did he get? 2 totes last week? 3 totes?
Yeah, I had to pawn him off some of my fantasy rosters. I just got to that point.
He can't start anymore.
No patience for the Travion train. I think it's left the station for this season.
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Yeah, Kevin made an easy pick, so obviously it's gonna work out.
Hey, that's what Hunter said. Hunter,
I know.
Hunter came for my throat on that, and you know what? Like I said, I just call it like I see it. I can only let the board speak to me. I'm an honest.
Yeah.
I'm an honest.
It wasn't
rep.
your decision. It was the board's decision.
And let's talk about Hunter really quick because Hunter's my dog, so he's gonna see this hopefully, and hopefully he can rebuttal on the following pod. But Hunter. The Giants, buddy, really? And it's fine, okay? They're cute, right? They have a cute little thing going on. But what did I say, Hunter? As long as they had Russell Wilson, they would suck. And I said if they put Jackson Dart in, they would have been my darling team. If Jackson Dart was the start, I like Jackson Dart. I've always liked Jackson Dart. He's a dog. Hunter was caping for Russell Wilson on this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, do not fall for his devilish Maggie Gyllenhaal handsomeness. Do not fall for it. Honeyball was saying beautiful. Russell Wilson was the savior. And what did we all say on this podcast?
He took his shirt off.
It was beautiful.
That was a great moment.
It was poetry. It was pure poetry.
Rest in peace, Malik Neighbors, though.
But yeah, that's part of it, right? But no, we got to give his flowers. They're doing good, and there's signs that they're on the uptick. But the Russell Wilson over Jackson Dart drumbeat was that's a bad take. That's an L take.
I'm waiting for him to pop out of nowhere, with like
Shirtless.
a wrestler
just entering the chat. Yeah.
Shatters.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we're gonna get through our freaking jam-packed segments that we have today, we're gonna move on to a little segment I like to call Week 8 Time Machine. We started out this season. We haven't been podcasting as much as we want to, but we're gonna be getting back to a regular schedule. We've been holding off on some things, and I just feel like it's time we just start reuniting the band. So without further ado, we've had one podcast during the regular season, which is absolutely blasphemous. We're going to be better for you guys. The 293 people in the chat, we owe you guys better. So we're going to be around more often. And let's just start with, okay, so the dudes who last podcasted, Adrian and I, maybe like week 2, week 3, whatever. Let's get our time machines out. We're going back to the day before the season started, and we're going to show ourselves the results of the league thus far, and we're going to say, wow, what in this time machine is the most blasphemous thing that I've seen? And Jimmy, are the Colts too much of a layup for you? Because I'll happily rant about the Colts if you don't want to.
I mean, I have you can go Colts if you want.
You got a backup?
Yeah, I got a backup.
Okay. I actually want you to be able to talk about your Colts, honestly. You know what I think I'm going to say?
I'll go. You can go first. I'll talk after.
I'll go first, but I'm gonna leave the Colts to you. I just feel like
Okay, I got you.
like if it was the Bills, I'd want to talk about it myself. I'd want to just gush.
Okay, of course.
There's a lot to gush about. Let's be real.
Sorry.
Was that gushing?
I don't know what that was.
That
but
was
my cheeks are
something.
getting red, so
That was something. Let's
like my hair.
that's blushing, not gushing, bro. That's
what's
blush.
gushing then? Is that like the candy?
Yeah, like gushers. Yeah.
I
You have to
love
eat
toast.
gushers.
Got you. See, this is
What
why
was-
we waste so much time on this podcast.
Did you
What
say
was
I love
that?
toast?
I love toast.
So anyways, without
I don't know if
further
that's me
ado,
or fake Jimmy. I don't know.
I'm gonna actually touch specifically on something we already briefly talked about earlier, and I'm gonna talk about. Okay, you show me the ADP of every single player in the NFL, and then you show me what I'm looking at for these damn fantasy football rankings and these damn fantasy football studs and duds. What? Brian Thomas Jr. a bust. Travis Etienne a stud. What? Quentin Johnston 13. What? I know he goosed last night, so not the best timing on the Quentin Johnston hype train, but damn, man, what is going on in the fantasy world, man? They're taking crazy pills, bro. Saquon kind of just being a dud. Like, are we for real? Okay, the Jonathan Taylor love is not surprising. You know, there's some guys at the top who don't surprise me, but man, there's some names. Brock Bowers, maybe arguably the biggest bust of the season. Are you freaking kidding me, man? This is just absolutely blasphemous. Travion Henderson, no looks whatsoever. Caleb Johnson does he have negative fantasy points on the year? What?
Probably. He had that one weird fumble thing happen on the kickoff.
I think he might be in the doghouse, but I would say in general the fantasy results thus far are probably the most shocking thing to me. I'm gonna pull up the season rankings so far, and if you guys don't mind telling me your biggest fantasy shocker of the year so far to go along with my pick.
Ooh,
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
look, can I just say rookie running backs? Can I use that as a collective? Like the amount of pop coming out of bad. Genty and Hampton and Henderson and Caleb Johnson and just like, I just feel like all these guys that got all this pop and they have been nowhere to be seen. I mean, Amarian Hampton had a couple good games just sort of before going to IR, but I feel like that's been the killer for me because like there was, you know, I mean, we're in a couple leagues all together, and I offered Brian, if I remember right, quite a haul to try and get that first pick. No doing. Another league, couple first to get the first pick. No doing because Genty was going to be the star that saved us all. Where's he been? He's been okay. He's coming. Yeah, he's coming. Come on. But he was talking like, you know, he wrote an open letter. I'm going to do what Saquon Barkley did. Like, earn it first, bro. I'm just gonna say rookie running backs in general have been very, very disappointing for me.
Am I supposed
Do we
to go
move on?
next?
Yeah, Jimmy,
Oh,
what
yeah,
about
well,
you?
I don't really have one. I mean, a good thing has been Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren has been like one of the top tight ends
Stud.
in the season in terms of
Awesome.
fantasy football this year. I really want to say Saquon because I know you took that from me, but Saquon has just been very underutilized, and it really comes down to like the Eagles' offensive line is just not what it typically is, which is very odd. Saquon feels like it should be a surefire thing, but he has not been producing this year. So,
Do you guys want to
Sad.
hear something absolutely bonkers insane that might make you vom all over yourself?
Please.
The only shocking running back. So okay, I don't think anybody would have picked Christian McCaffrey to be the RB1 thus far, but he is comfortably. You ready for me to name some of these RB1s? These are players in the top 12 of scoring in running backs right now. Okay?
do it.
Javonte Williams is the RB6.
Ridiculous.
Cam
Never a doubt.
Scadaboo is the RB8. Rico Dowdle is the RB11.
That's
DeAndre
crazy.
Swift is the RB12.
That one I'm behind. I like Swift.
Well, we all do, but RB1? He's an
Oh,
RB1. Quinshawn Judkins is the RB15. One spot ahead of Saquon Barkley. You know who's one spot behind Saquon Barkley? J.K. Dobbins. What? 5 spots behind him at RB23 is Derrick Henry. What is going on?
So weird. So
Crazy
it's a
pills.
drunk season. It's
Crazy
a
I
drunk
never
season.
doubted Javonte Williams.
Truly crazy pills. I'm going to do a couple more just because, oh my God, I'm absolutely nauseous. But okay, wide receiver 1 so far, Jackson Smith and Jigba. pretty crazy.
Ridiculous.
The next 4 aren't too crazy, but wide receiver 5, George Pickens. We all knew that was going to be the case. Wide receiver 6, Keenan Allen. I mean, I know
Seriously?
he played an extra game, so I guess maybe there's that. He has that going for him, but he's outscoring Justin Jefferson right now.
Yeah, no.
Devontae
extra
Smith,
game
wide
or not.
receiver 12, Michael Pittman, wide receiver 13.
Never.
What? Yeah, well, anyways, that's my big thing is just, if you would have shown me the fantasy results with Time Machine, I would have probably assumed I was being pranked, and I would have been like, I don't care if you're from the future, get out of my house. Honestly.
I mean, if anyone says it from the future, you send them away, right?
If they got
you send
valuable,
yourself away.
not to be too topical, but if they got valuable insider trading information, like what's happening in the NBA, might like
Careful.
take some notes. I know, right? Let me stop.
Careful.
I don't want the FBI to knock on my door. Anyways,
I know what games you went to.
I have zero insider trading knowledge of anything. No, please, FBI.
No sports almanac.
My name is Jimmy Ray, for the record.
Don't watch July 17th.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Adrian, let's save the best for last. Adrian, why don't you give us your time machine?
Hurtful but accurate. I think. Look, I mean, the Colts have. I'm going to leave the Colts to him as well, and I'm just going to say this. My time machine will be if I were to look and take the standings out of it. Right, I'm talking to future me, and just how bad Kevin O'Connell looks for some of the decisions he's made leading up to here. And I'm just going to say it, right, because he's a good coach, he's a great coach. Kevin Stefanski got the same thing. I don't want to hear it. He let good talent walk out the door, didn't identify the right one to begin with. He's got a guy now who is soft benching, let's just be honest with ourselves. And to counterpart that to Deshaun Watson, you can't let not good players walk in the door and let great ones walk out and then say you're a good coach. I don't care who you take to the playoffs with Kenny Pickett or whatever. And I know I'm muddling the two Kevins here, but I think Kevin O'Connell took two, arguably, what would if you were to say Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones playing what, top 4, top 5? Am I being too generous? Let them out the door.
Absolutely.
Could have tagged them, did not, and you got JJ McCarthy who looked all but lost. And he had that one moment in week 1, and now he's got Carson Wentz and the third stringer who came in at the end. What's his name? I don't even know his friggin' name. And you let these guys walk out the door. The Vikings were meant to be competitive. They are not. The Bears are beating them right now. Side hate from me. So I think if I were to look back, if I were to talk to past self, I would be shocked at the fact that current future Adrian does not think very highly of Kevin O'Connell. And I'm going to say it, part of being a great coach is knowing when you've got talent in the door and identifying when someone isn't talented. And at the QB position, that's the biggest part of your job. And if you can't do that, I don't care what you do, you're not coaching well.
I'm going to give you 3 stars on your take because I don't extremely disagree about KOC and the amount of complete media retelling of history he gets. He's kind of like I like the Stefanski comparison. I'll throw Zach Taylor in that mix. I feel similarly. So I do think you're more inbounds than out of bounds, but let's take a deep breath on the victory lapping of the JJ McCarthy thing. Like I would love to dogpile on JJ McCarthy. I never thought he looked like an NFL prospect. I watched those games at Michigan when this is not a great barometer. I'm going to be honest. I use my degeneracy as a gambler to kind of like comb through takes, and like McCarthy's over-under passing line in the national championship was like 80 yards. I was like, okay, you have a run-first offense, but how are you going to be a national champion first-round pick and you're not even expected by the books to throw more than 80 yards? Are you kidding me? Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, you're not winning the game with your arm at that point. He never has. He's never been that kind of a player, and his pocket awareness is equivalent to that of a ham sandwich. Let's be honest. Like, he gets absolutely blitzkrieged in the backfield, and it's his own fault 99% of the time. They don't have the worst offensive line I've ever seen. So I don't know, guys. I'm getting back up on my stool. Sorry, that's my point, right? Because people are like, KOC can do this and he can do that and he can make anything with it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any of it. Yeah. Honestly,
if you can use betting lines, if you can use betting lines and be like, well, what's going on here? And this guy can send Sam Darnold, who took him to 14-3 out the door, could have tagged him, didn't do it.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, I'll let slide better, but
But Darling,
Come on.
Darling, but Darnold might have done that
That's very
himself
sweet.
with the absolute ghost act, that the absolute Cinderella pumpkining that he did in the final couple weeks of last season. Like I don't
But
think
who
you can
doesn't have
justify
those games? Who
but
doesn't have
in
two
those
bad
spots.
games?
But that's a DNA thing. If you have those games in those spots, like look enough times, like Darnold does that. Like Darnold becomes very human when the moment is bigger. Like he's I don't think he's got the
Could you say the
ice
same
water
about Lamar? Could you say the same about Lamar though? He has his moments.
Yeah, honestly, you honestly maybe could.
He does absolutely have his moments.
Yeah, I don't
But-
think I
Sorry,
don't.
I'm going to get off my
But he's
soapbox.
also an
No, it's
MVP.
fair.
So.
There's not that many guys that you can't say that about. Like, I mean, who truly the players in my experience that I watch play NFL football who play the best in the biggest moments. I truly think it's Pat. I think it's Hurts. I think it's Josh Allen. I think it's
Tangents.
Crickets.
I think it's Pat Hurts, Josh, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other players who have that pedigree.
I'll give Matt Stafford some pop as well.
That's fair. Yeah, Stafford,
Recent,
good.
like recent few years, Matt Stafford.
Rodgers, but even Rodgers
Yeah, Rodgers had his. He did
towards
he
the
had
end of his
moments.
career, he did start to
Yeah.
kind of not have the best games in the playoffs.
I will say I understand like where Adrian's coming from in the terms of like KOC. Like it felt like people were talking about it being like a surefire thing in the offseason.
Yeah,
And it's just, I mean, it's just that's not reality, obviously, because you got humans, you're drafting certain players, you don't know what's going to come of it. You can't teach them. You got to let them play. But also, I mean, all of this kind of like you said, it fell into his lap in a way because like Sam Darnold played poorly. You have a first round quarterback.
Yep.
That you need to play at some point.
Yep.
On the bench, and he was injured, and so let's say Sam Darnold plays bad, you send him elsewhere. Daniel Jones just wanted a starting job, and he picked the Colts. So that was kind of his decision, or maybe he didn't. Go and get Darnold.
No,
I mean, in hindsight, at this point,
I hear
Darnold's
you
been playing well this year, but they need to play JJ McCarthy. I don't understand what's
right. Like
exactly
at a certain
happening
point,
with that. That's my biggest problem with this. Is like, what's exactly like? There's no transparency, or at least we don't know.
Soft benching is the correct. That's the correct nomenclature, Adrian. You nailed that. Like and I think fairly. And look, I'm not a freaking talent evaluator, bro. I don't go to every single one of this dude's games since high school, but I felt like I could see it. I was like, what are we doing with this pushing all the chips in JJ McCarthy? The fantasy community, some of my favorite analysts, JJ McCarthy's going to be so good. Draft him. He's going to be so good. What? Based on what? What have you seen to make sure he's going to be so good? He's got good weapons. They have an okay line. Are we serious? Like that's the barometer. Like I understand that you could assume that he'd be good, but there's so much more. There's so much more that goes behind being a good quarterback. Are you a good quarterback?
It's the KOC. There's and I had them right, and I still look. I'm being dramatic for dramatic effect. But
I like it. It's fun.
KOC he's not allowed to get the same pop anymore, and that's the same. That goes the same for Kevin Stefanski. You can't send
same
potential MVP top TD scorer Baker Mayfield out the door because he's not your dude. Bring in sexual McPredator, and then be called a great coach still.
Yeah.
Even if you take Kenny Pickett to the playoffs, I don't care. You don't get to be called a good coach.
Yeah. I you know what?
Can KOC even make all these decisions?
He's got to have his hand in it, right?
Of course, right? Like,
yeah.
I completely agree. I think it's a great take, and it's kind of a weirdly specific take. I did not expect you to get so in the weeds and get so like it's. I mean, good for you though. I mean, that's way more interesting.
In your notes section of your phone.
Yeah, dude, he's been. I mean, dude, we all know the last thing Adrian needs is an excuse to dogpile on an NFC North team.
Imagine he's just like week 3, he's like,
but
watching a Vikings.
I love it. I can't even be mad at it. And you know what? I want to circle back to something Adrian said earlier. I'm afraid we might have a long pod today, but I do want to address this. You said they're a 4-3 team, but they're not a 4-3 team, right? You said that, right?
About who? The Jags?
About the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Do you want to know who else is a 4-3 team? The Carolina Panthers.
What are we doing here?
Do you want to know who else is a 4-3 team? The Chicago Bears. Like,
are they 4-3?
They might even be 4-2. They might even be 4-2. It's even better.
Yeah.
So these are teams that I'm like, okay, but what is a 4-3 team? The 4-3 teams look kind of booty right now.
You're right, but like, all right. So Bears are playing the Jaguars, completely neutral ground. Who's winning?
That's a tough call.
You say that again,
I think that's
Bears
the
versus Bears Panthers
that's
neutral
the fraud
ground.
bowl. That's the fraud bowl right there.
dude. I guess I'd go Bears.
I'd probably
I'd
pick
take
the
the
Bears.
Bears. I'd
Yeah.
take the Bears.
Ben
All right.
Johnson,
Anyways, I just wanted to circle back to that because
Fair call.
4-3. I mean, hey, Jimmy, remember the flack I got on our predictions episode for putting Carolina in the playoffs?
Oh yeah, dude.
I
that-
might not
mean,
look so crazy now.
Dude, Andy Dalton might be the savior.
Don't I don't want to hear any of that with what's happening this weekend in Carolina. I just want Buffalo to be 5-2 and then we can talk about it from there. Anyways,
well,
without further ado,
we'll check
because
back in.
I'm scared. All right,
We should
Jimmy.
preview that game in about
Scared.
45 minutes. That should be good.
Yeah, I think at this rate. All right, Jimmy, take it away with your little team.
Little.
Listen, man, this might be. I think this we can all agree this is the most surprising,
The most shocking,
the
hands
most shocking. Before the season, you can go on my personal Twitter. I said, hey, Daniel Jones is either going to get everybody fired or he's going to have a resurgence like my boy Sam Darnold, who we just talked about. And it seems to be a Sam Darnold resurgence here. I think we can all agree to that at some point, but it's not just him. I feel like Shane Steichen has been coaching his off. Sorry, children. I wasn't going to say anything there, but yeah, I mean the scheme fits perfectly with Daniel Jones so far. Daniel Jones has played perfectly for the most part, other than a few boneheaded throws. But their offense, they're the highest scoring offense in the league. Their defense, it honestly doesn't matter what the defense is doing because the offense scores on every single possession, which I've never seen that from a Colts team in my entire life. So I never thought I would ever say that.
Don't lie, Peyton Manning.
Hey man, they're breaking all the stats that he ever even threw. So
Yeah, when I saw that Drake May broke one of Tom Brady's records, I was like, oh, here we go.
here we go.
Here we
more of a
freaking
team,
go.
yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor's been a top 3. I think you can't argue he's been a top 3 running back this year.
Top
You
one.
could
if you
argue
ask me.
top
You
one.
could
Yeah,
say
you
top
could.
1. Yeah, you could
Yeah.
argue top 1. You could throw out
Yep.
obviously
Bijan's been
Bijan
pretty special.
Robinson's
Yeah.
up there as well. Jameer Gibbs has been up there
Yeah,
as well.
Gibbs
I think
been
that's like the
good.
top 3 this year.
No.
Christian McCaffrey too, obviously.
Jacobs has been pretty good.
But yeah, if you would have told me that Anthony Richardson and Charvarius Ward would have gotten injured in pregame warmups this year, I've been
Insane.
like, wow, this season's going
What the
awful.
hell?
Especially with
So
me
weird.
being there with my dad. I look on my phone and I'm like, Anthony Richardson's out. And he's like, what? I was like, Charvarius Ward is out. What? And I
Yeah.
watched that video. I'm like, that's the most Colts thing that's happened this season,
Actually,
which
yeah.
is the biggest blessing in the world. But the Colts are 6-1. They've beaten their opponents, regardless of if they've been good, if they've been bad. They've beaten them. They've blown them out of the water.
Yeah. Some
Except
good
for
ones.
The
Some good
Broncos
ones.
was a close game. Cardinals was a close game, but everybody else absolutely torched them. The Chargers got torched, and then they torched the Vikings last night. So it's sky high for the Colts this season so far. We'll see where it goes. I'm still a little nervous. I'm still a little speechless on Daniel Jones and kind of what this means for the future. But
Yeah.
I'm excited for it, obviously.
Absolutely. And you have every right to be, man. Don't let anyone rain on your parade. 6-1 is fun. Daniel
Yeah,
Jones.
it is.
I think jury's out on Daniel Jones for like long term, like permanent guy.
I
But
think
like
you have to sign him
I think maybe not
at
right
some
now.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
not right
some
now.
point,
It's
right?
still a
And
little
it's-
Ask
early,
a Giants
but
fan though.
Is he
He
on
took
a
him to
one?
the playoffs.
Is he on a 1-year deal?
Yeah, 1 year, 10 mil. But he's getting
Okay.
paid every win. So
Yeah, I don't envy the GM. Is that Chris Ballard still?
yeah. Also,
Nope.
yeah, shout out. He's also feeling pretty good right now.
I don't envy Chris Ballard for having to make that decision. I think we talked about it before, and I was banging the table a couple years ago. Sign Jones, and I kind of got egg on my face with the Joe Shane decision to sign him. And now,
There's no decision right now. If the season ended today, you obviously sign him to whatever.
yeah, but how many times have we seen this movie?
Never with the Colts. Just because we
That's-
haven't had a quarterback that is like
Worthy. You just
Yeah.
had some, Rivers, Wentz.
Yeah, the Rivers thing was weird. He ended up
Low key,
retiring.
the Wentz thing was kind of just like this because Wentz played really well for you guys, and then
Not really.
again threw up all over himself in the lead up to the
He-
playoffs.
Yeah,
No, he did.
all right. It was
Dude,
like
you
a
guys were
Jonathan
like 10
Taylor
and you
year.
were like 7 with Wentz.
We didn't get 10 wins.
Well, you should have. I remember you blew it. against,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the last few games.
right? I was gonna say. I feel like you're kind of hate revisionist history going on over here.
Yeah, maybe, but I
anyways.
mean, this year is very different than that.
It's very different. They have the look of a legit team. I've been thinking that the topic on the Colts when we talk about it is going to be, because we haven't had a pod in a while. I kept thinking, how legit are they 1-10? And I feel like any answer under a 7, you kind of are going to look a little dumb right now. Like, they're legit.
Great.
I don't think their legitimacy can be debated anymore. I think they've established themselves. The question now is, can they keep it up?
Yeah, who knows?
If
Probably.
the season ended today, hear me, and I just looked it up because Daniel Jones, 28 years old. How many years do you give him on a contract if you're the GM?
3. Sorry.
4?
4 with an out by 3?
Yeah, probably.
3
Yeah,
with
I
a
mean,
void
yeah,
year.
every contract is always an out. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
no Deshaun Watson contract.
Jeez
hell
Louise.
no.
But
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
All right.
4 year. I mean, what was the Baker Mayfield contract? I think that would be fitting.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good call.
Yeah, good
Similar
call.
similar stakes. Wow, fellas, what a lead up. Hey, quick question, am I right? Ladies and gentlemen, we now have one of the greatest moments in legit football podcast history. We have our game previews, and if you haven't ever attended a legit football podcast and you don't know about the absolute epicness of our game previews, the absolute epic sauce, #epic sauce, you're gonna find out right now. So without further ado, Adrian, let's kick it off. And
it's you kicking it off, my friend.
Let's go. Borderline dynamite game. We have the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Miami to take on the I'll just say it, the pathetic.
Do you want it?
What do I want? Do I want dynamite? No, it's not that bad because the Falcons are. I don't think the Falcons. I think the Falcons have been good enough that they're worthy of no dynamite.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up the live odds so you guys can follow along with us. Falcons at Dolphins, currently in Atlanta. Actually, this says at Dolphins, but according to DraftKings, it's in Atlanta. Atlanta are 7.5-point home favorites over the Dolphins with an over/under of 44.5. And yeah, the Dolphins have just been disgusting, nauseatingly bad at football. So I think I'm going to talk about really a couple things because I think it's not quite dynamite, but it's pseudo dynamite. This is like a C4 game. I think the Mike McDaniel clock is ticking, unfortunately. We all have enjoyed the sideshow, and I think we all on this podcast kind of knew it was a temporary thing. The 2 o'clock is probably ticking. And I hate to say that, but with his health and with his kind of demeanor in the media, like I just don't really feel like he's the leader that you pay $260 million to. Personally, no disrespect. I think he's a great man. I've liked a lot of his stuff that he said, but I've also thought at times like, bro, you kind of are coming across like a clown a little bit. I feel bad for them because they did have high hopes and they have had some good years, playoff appearances in recent years. But I think the stench is just too overpowering. I think the no winning cologne is going to get McDaniels, and definitely McDaniels and possibly Tua canned. For this game specifically, I feel like it starts and ends with Bijan Robinson. We saw what Quinshon Judkins was able to do to Miami last week. And Bijan Robinson is the toast of the NFL. I think he's the closest thing we've ever seen to LT. So I am extremely excited to watch Bijan Robinson just carve his way through that defense. Penix has been pretty good. He really honestly was pretty dialed in against Buffalo, even though he only targeted one wide receiver in that game. It's all he needed to target. Drake London's a great receiver. Kyle Pitts has his moments this year, which is kind of cool. We've all been on the Pitts fantasy roller coaster. I feel like maybe he's not who we thought he was going to be, but maybe he's not as pathetic as he's looked. And Atlanta's defense, Mamma Mia, maybe one of the most surprising units of the season, but they are punching teams in the mouth. They are getting pressure. They are making nice plays in the run. They haven't been the best against the run, and CMC really exposed that. It's a bit frustrating as a Bills fan that Cook wasn't able to do the same thing. A lot of my Falcons analysis is kind of slanted through the lens of they little broed my team, so I have a lot of respect for them. I don't think they're a pushover by any stretch. I think they're gonna dog walk the Dolphins. And if 7.5 points is real on the spread, because I'm seeing Atlanta minus 7.5. Adrian, you got the button.
Wait, what button are we talking about?
You know what button I'm talking about. Can you do that for me one more time?
One more time?
Yeah, and I'm saving money for a new car. I didn't have the best luck with my 2012 Chevy Sonic anymore.
Oh,
So-
no.
So me betting my rent is not the smartest thing for me to do right now, but I might be able to get a little nice car if I bet my rent on this game, because I think
If you
Atlanta's
lose it,
gonna-
you're
I
not
think
living. You can't even live in the car.
I think Atlanta's gonna cover 7.5. I'm sorry, boys. Go ahead and give me your hits and I'll say 34 19.
So two things I'll just comment on this. The first is he is the toast of the town, Bijan Robinson, and he is awesome, man. Like there's some, like, all right, have you ever, because we're watching the game, when you're watching it from TV or whether you're watching Prime View or whether you're watching, even when you're watching for the stands, I'm sure to an element, you can see sometimes when someone's going to make a jump cut or someone's going to make someone miss and you kind of know that's coming. There's times where like Bijan Robinson stops and I watching the telecast can't tell how is the defender going. He stops on a dime and it is awesome to watch. The amount I think he's first in missed tackles. He's got to be. I'm just assuming.
40, he has 46, 10 more than anybody else.
That's got to
Pulled that
be.
out of my-
Yeah. And I didn't know
Crazy.
that stat, and I just assumed because that's how good he's been.
I heard him record my take today. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy. So he's awesome, and he's the kind of the engine for that offense, and so I think they're gonna. This game's gonna be. I agree with you, Kevin. I think they're gonna dog walk them. I'm gonna say 32-20. The only thing I'm gonna say about the Dolphins and the fact that Mike McDaniels is not fired right now as of this moment because he probably should be, which I feel sorry for the guy. Stephen Ross fired Brian Flores for not losing games intentionally. Like, are we sure they're not out of the tank? Are we sure they're not doing this? Like, is there some sort of guarantee going to Mike McDaniel's way to make them have them at this score? No,
I don't think so.
It's done it before.
I'm not saying they wouldn't, but I think Mike McDaniels is going to get canned. I don't see a world where he survives this season, even if it's so. If he's doing that willingly, then he's like anti-Gerard Mayo right now. He's anti Romeo Crennel, who did this. Remember that with the Texans?
Yeah,
going to win a game when you're trying to tank. Like, if you're going to get fired anyway, you might as well stick it to him on the way out.
Is he telling Tua to say those things in the press conference too? I don't know. There's a lot of
the
weird
vibes of the Dolphins.
There's just so many things that Tua says that I'm just like, bro. The worst part is I kind of respect his honesty. Like, he's an earnest dude.
I can't see over my O line. I don't know what you guys want me to do. I can't find Jalen Waddle. I'm like, okay, dude, come on.
Like, we feel like you can't control your height, bro. You like, it's not fair to like bully him about that. You can't control your height, but like, why would you give your haters a loaded gun pointed at your cojones? I just don't get it.
Better than
Three Short Kings right here. Am I right? No, wait, Jimmy, you're sneaky tall, aren't you?
He's sneaky tall.
Yeah.
Jimmy does not seem like it, but bro, when you talk to Jimmy, you're like, oh, this dude's probably 5'7", 5'8". This dude's
5'10.5", buddy.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's basically my height, bro. Yo, you know who else is sneaky tall? Brian McFadden.
That doesn't sneak me though. I feel like
is he 6 foot?
I don't think so. I don't think he's quite 6 foot, but he's like almost. I'm not like tall, but like, I'm 6 feet, so I'm like, okay, if anybody's up in my stratosphere, the worst part is I'm 6 feet tall, but some of my best friends are like damn near 6'5", and I'm like, bro, I'm not short, bro.
Or are you just saying you're 6 foot?
No, I'm actually 6 foot, Jimmy.
Okay, because I tell people I'm 6 foot.
No, I'm actually not. I'm 5'11" and 7/8.
Okay, I'm 5'10" and.
So I just did the conversion because obviously we use the metric system like rational people.
Lame, boo.
5'5", 5'8", 5'1", 5'1".
Stop. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Because
baby,
out of all of us, I would have thought he was the tallest. Like, what? Like,
low camera. There's tricks, Like,
how tall is Tua?
Hey, this show is going to be 7 hours long.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
I'm comfortable with it.
Tua's
I'm on board,
dude.
Jimmy, what's
357 viewers?
Jimmy,
you're going to be watching for 7 hours.
What's your score?
24-13 Falcons. You guys have hit on all the made points.
Let's go. All right, we already know. Bears Ravens. Who's got it?
I'm on board. We're going to have at least. I've got it. We're going to have at least 7 shows from Fabian very soon.
Let's go.
All right, so Lamar is back at practice. We're kind of expecting him back. They've been non-committal on
Adrian.
Cooper Rush.
I'm sorry. key facet of this. I'm gonna give people the line and who's home before I kick you the games. I'm sorry.
Why?
I feel like it means something. I don't know. We talk about betting on the show. I feel like it's good context. The over under,
Well,
right?
Yeah, you go for it.
Ravens are at home.
I'm sorry. I stopped you in your flow. You were absolutely cooking. I should have sat that one out.
Nah, ruined it. It's over.
Yeah, you're taking
All right, next to the podcast.
whatever steam you were building, gone.
I'm just
Once
gonna
we hit an
cry
hour,
for the
we
next
have to
3
end
minutes.
it anyway. We have to end it in
Ravens
4 minutes anyway.
7-point home favorites with an over under of 49.5. My apologies. Get back into your flow.
Yeah, so all right. No, it's over. That's all I've got. No. Lamar is expected to be back. So we don't know if he's going to be back. They've been non-committal on who's going to be QB, if not him. Probably Snoop Huntley at this stage, because he's been very pro Cooper Rush in previous games, but he's played terrible. So I think this is a weird game, right? Because the Bears are sort of coming into their own, which much to my chagrin, but they're winning games that they're kind of finding ways to win. Actually, I'm not even going to dog them for this because the Packers are the same. Winning games, they're finding ways to win when they probably shouldn't. The Ravens, if they have any hope of making the playoffs, they probably need to win, 9 of 11? Is that fair? 8 of 11? So you're going to need Jackson back out. He's going to need to be back to his old self because the Ravens defense absolutely stinks. You do get Roquan Smith back. That will help with, or we're expected to be back, I should say. So that will help with stopping the run, which they have not been able to do. And the Bears have the most rushing yards over the past 2 games of any team. They kind of seem like they found a dude in Kyle Monangai. I traded him away in fantasy. Not happy about that. I'm always a DeAndre Swift guy. He's value by volume. He gets the ball more than anyone. Well, top 3, I think, if I remember right, in terms of percentage of snaps. That might start to shift now that Monangai's kind of stepped up a little bit. But I feel like the Bears are going to try and ram it down their throat. And if Lamar's there, they're going to have to score on a lot of their drives, and they're going to have to control the time of possession because Lamar if he's back and he's desperate, and if he's the dude that can step up when he needs to, and he has historically been that way, at least in the regular season, I feel like the Ravens are going to probably take this, but I don't take that 7 home. I'm going to say 28-25 because you don't know what version of Lamar. If you get Lamar, what version you're going to get. So I'm going to say they're going to take him because they need to win this game, but I don't think it's going to be a pretty win.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, everything has gone wrong for the Ravens this year, and I think you could argue that was like the time machine thing. That was one of the things.
I can't believe we didn't talk about that. Yeah,
I was thinking about it, but then I went on my rant.
Yeah, if you were going to take the Colts, my backup plan was talking about the Ravens being 1-5. Because
very fair point.
If you saw that before the season, you're like, that makes no sense. But
yeah, crazy.
If you look at the injuries, Kyle Hamilton's missed time, Nnamdi Madubuike.
Yeah,
missed time. Roquan Smith has missed time. Derrick Henry hasn't really worked out too well this season. Lamar missing time. My friend Gordy, he's been
Gordy, my boy.
Dude does not care about football right now.
I don't blame
Ravens
him.
fan. He's just like, let's just see what the draft looks like. But
no,
yeah.
Too soon.
He's been like that since week 2. So
too soon.
Since the week 1 loss, that was awful.
One of the greatest nights of my life. Yeah, one of the greatest nights of my life.
Yeah.
I damn near cried over a regular season game.
It
was crazy.
Every week, just the Bills make you cry. Good.
They do. Good, bad, and ugly. I'd be sobbing.
This is how the emotions come out, man. Football. No, but the Ravens, nothing's gone right. But hopefully Lamar comes back this week. We're still waiting to hear. But the Bears have been solid this year. I think they've won 4 straight, probably the first time since who knows, Trubisky.
Yeah.
But Ben Johnson, I think I saw they averaged the most big plays this season per game. So if that's the starting point for like this Ben Johnson Bears team, that's good to see. DeAndre Swift has been solid. The receiving has been good. I mean, Loveland hasn't really gotten any targets, so it's hard to see from that standpoint. But everybody's been eating a little bit. Their defense has been solid, but I'm going to take the Ravens here just because I feel like, I don't know if it's just like the Adrian thing where like they need the win. So let's go ahead and pick them. I was very iffy on it. I went 22-21 Ravens.
Yeah.
But they're at home. We'll see what happens. Everything seems to be working. I'm going to assume Lamar is going to play just because if he's not playing this week, they're going to lose and then just chalk it up for the season. If they lose this week, just chalk it up, bag it up, take it.
Yep. We're going to call it the caged animal effect. I completely agree. I'm gonna take Baltimore as well for the same reason. respect to what the Bears have been able to accomplish so far this season. They're definitely a tad better than I thought they were going to be. I don't think they're quite in contention for the NFC North yet. And I don't think the Vikings are either with the way they're handling the McCarthy Wentz thing. So I do think it's a 2-horse race, Adrian. And we'll talk about Green Bay later. I'm looking forward to that conversation. But as far as the Ravens go, it's a little early to say win or go home. It's a little early to say must win, but I think you can start putting every game. They're almost like last year's Cincinnati. Like every game's a must win from here on out. Every week's the playoffs, and to be with your back against the wall and to be playing on your heels this early in the season, I don't think that's a recipe for long-term success. But I do think it can give you great short-term bursts, and I think this week will be exactly what they need to overcome Caleb Williams and the Bears. I'm gonna say Baltimore wins this one. I'll be a little nicer. I'll say 30-22. Just give me a cover as well.
It's a fun game.
I apologize to the viewers and to you guys because I was looking that direction as you were talking because I was just running some stats quickly.
Yeah,
so
please.
The Ravens are currently at 1-5 plus 100 to make the playoffs.
That's still barely even. That's not even barely
100.
Now the nearest teams to that, so the Cardinals who are 2-5, who have 2 wins, are 13-1. They don't even have the plus sign there. So what's that? 1300-1, 13 plus 1300.
Yeah, plus
and
1300.
The Saints don't even have freaking odds to make the playoffs and they're 2-5.
And they're not making the playoffs. Yeah.
I think Vegas agrees that Lamar comes back. You hope that they can step to the moment and they can bank a few of these wins, and you have to start with someone like a team like the Bears. They're not world beaters. Like you need to be able to bank a win at home.
100%.
And the Ravens also played like the Lions, Chiefs, and the Bills in the first like 5 weeks. That was
to be fair,
insane.
Yeah. To be fair, that was a murderer's row.
Insane.
Absolutely. All right. Let's get Jimmy's game going. And as you guys know, so we're gonna be talking about Vikings and Chargers. No, we already talked. That's the pre Jets and Bengals.
Yeah.
And so as to not interrupt you mid-sentence, Jimmy, I'm going to come in with your odds here.
Oh, I'll interrupt you here. No, I'm just kidding.
The Gents are traveling to Cincinnati to take on the 6-point home Joe Flacco-led favorite Cincinnati Bengals with an over-under of 44.5. And I will interrupt you, Jimmy, because we do have a new commenter here.
Oh, I'm ready to blow up.
Titan freaking maximum.
Oh,
if the Titans go undefeated the rest of the year, we can get the number 1 pick 2 years in a row.
Defeated.
Oh, he said defeated. Yeah. Damn, that is so.
I was scared for a second.
I was gonna say that's my own bit. I did the defeated bit earlier. Pretty funny. Ladies and gentlemen, Titan maximum. Give him a little. Yeah. What do we think, Age? Do we like that?
Do we like?
We already talked about the Jets. We can talk about the Jets. We already talked about the Jets a lot, so we can do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Strap him up.
But Dynamite game? I think it's time. All
right.
Do you want to give the quick setup to anyone who's new watching?
For those of you who don't know, games that are absolute dog water and we don't want to watch, we call them dynamite games. And we set up a stick of dynamite for the conversation. We set a timer. When the timer blows up, the dynamite blows up. When the timer ends, the dynamite blows up and the conversation ceases, with the exception of if we find any bits of the dynamite laying astray, we pick up the stray pieces to talk about the pieces. But without further ado,
all right, so let's put the time. Let's blow this game to smithereens. Himmy, you are up, my friend.
Okay, the Jets owner Woody Johnson saying that Justin Fields is absolute trash is absolutely insane, but it's also true.
Yep.
Tyrod Taylor, I don't think will do a whole lot for this team because they're absolute garbage. Breece Hall can't run the ball. Their defense should be better than they are, but they're not.
Yep.
Adrian picked them. Who cares? The Bengals getting Joe Flacco. The Bengals getting Joe Flacco. Absolutely more fun than Jake Browning. I'd love it. Why not?
Yeah.
Give the Bengals fans something to root for with Joe Burrow out for mostly the whole year. They put up 33 points against the Steelers last week and won. Absolutely insane. I'm going to pick them. Jamar Chase, he knows how to feed him the ball. 23 targets, 16 catches. I have 27-17. Bengals.
Aid.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 30-21 to Bengals because Joe Flacco has made that offense make sense. Jamar Chase is undeniable at 30-21 Bengals.
And I'm going to take the Bengals as well. I think it's going to be more of a shootout. Adrian, 21 points. How do you foresee that team getting into the end zone 3 times? I'm going to take Cincinnati 37-13. Thank you very much. No pieces necessary. Jamar Chase is awesome. Everyone else sucks.
Not Chase Brown.
Chase Brown, not awesome.
Not cool.
Not cool.
Found some pieces.
R.I.P. to the
Not
drafters
cool.
of Chase Brown.
Yeah,
Next up, we have my Buffalo Bills traveling to Charlotte, North Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. I will be watching this game at a sports bar in Las Vegas with a club soda with lime in my hand and some buffalo wings on my plate. Over under 46.5. I feel pretty confident, unfortunately, in Buffalo to have a get right game. Gosh darn, did I feel confident in them having a get right game against Atlanta as well. I knew Atlanta posed some problems with the running game and with the physicality of the offensive line and with Buffalo's lack of a true separator in the wide receiver room, which unfortunately continues to get play as a narrative every single year, even though we all know that that's the case. We got Brandon Beane attacking local reporters about the wide receiver conversation in the offseason. And now here we are, Underdog reporting that we're in the conversation for a wide receiver at the trade deadline. So make it make sense. I'm this frustrated with the Bills. They've given me some good years. Beane and McDermott are great. Allen's great. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on the Allen interview where he talked about how he's more than a football player. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. It was a pretty cool interview.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Let's just be matter of fact about it. You are just a football player. No, we'll talk about it, but
nothing more as a human.
I like it. I like it.
From it, I like it too, and I like it from like a personal mental health, like men's mental health standpoint. There's not like beautiful things about it, but also I don't know. There's like I want that fire too. You know what I mean? Like
it's like the Scotty Scheffler thing where he's
yes,
like,
exactly.
But he's I think they care, but obviously like.
It's his profession,
too
right?
Much, you'll go insane. Like 100%. Any job, like our 100%. Job, like anybody's job.
It's a tricky line to thread. X's and O's from an X's and O's standpoint, I feel pretty confident that. Look, it's my understanding that Carolina has one of the worst pass rushes in the league. So if Buffalo isn't able to allow their offensive linemen to just kind of make a fort for Josh Allen to pick the Panthers apart, I know they don't have separators, but Joe Brady, let's scheme some stuff that's not a tight end reverse, or let's scheme some stuff that's not a fake QB sneak end around to Elijah Moore. Okay, let's. I love the bag of tricks. I love the gadgetry, but you have the reigning NFL MVP. Why don't you let him go be great? Why don't you let him go pin his ears back and go find some open receivers? Give him some time. Let him run. I don't know if you guys saw the film of Ed Reed breaking down Josh Allen's big run against the Jets, but it was sick. Ed Reed is he's going to be a great, if he's in the media, like if he does that, I think Ed Reed's going to be great. I really enjoyed watching him break down Allen's film. When Carolina has the ball, Andy Dalton's the quarterback. I am weirdly impressed with Bryce Young this season. So I as weird as it is, I kind of think it's a little bit of a downgrade, even though normally I would probably like in a vacuum, I would say who presents more of a threat in a 1 week, game. I think Dalton is, he can pick a defense apart. We've seen that for years. But I think I think this is a get right game for Buffalo's defense as well. I think I'm probably more nervous about Rico Dowdle than anyone else on Carolina's offense. Obviously Ted McMillan will probably find some separation. We have not had stellar cornerback play this year, even from our not quite all pro, but in the all pro conversation last year, Christian Benford. There's been a little bit of a dip in his play. The safety play from Buffalo is like I'm not exaggerating. It's abysmal. And I'm also not exaggerating here. I think I could do a better job than Cole Bishop. Me personally. No training. Throw me in right now. I don't know the playbook. I think I could do a better job than Cole Bishop. I'll say it with my chest. I would like to not see him on my television screen for the rest of the season, unless it's special teams. Go cover a punt, brother. Go. Nice. Good, Jimmy. That's true. That's fair. I'm excited. I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's a get right game. Knock on all the wood in your houses. I'm going to take Buffalo. It's a 7-point spread. I've been seeing it at 7.5 places. I do think they win by more than 7. I'll take Buffalo 34-20.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills here as well. I think the only thing is they don't have much rush, and you're right, but they've still got a top 10 passing defense, and JC Horn's playing great. He's got 3 interceptions on the year, so I just, as long as Josh Allen kind of protect, you don't want to get that game where Josh Allen kind of goes a bit wild, and that doesn't happen nearly as often anymore. So I'm not going to say that like it's I'm not going to just foreshadow it. I'll take the Bills 29-13. I think this will be a fairly comfortable win.
Nice.
Bryce Young out. I love the glowing ginger man. I love Andy Dalton, but I don't think he's going to be, leading any rallies here.
I like it.
Yeah, I think this is a get right game for both teams. I think the Panthers are a 4-3 team, but I don't think they'll be a 4-3 team much longer.
Yeah.
I guess obviously they won't be, I guess.
They quite literally will not be 4-3 no matter what.
Right inside that one.
Sunday around 1 p.m. Pacific, they will not be 4-3.
They'll be a 4-4 team, and the Bills will be a 5-2 team,
like it.
Everything will be right in the world a little bit more.
I like it.
Than usual.
I like it.
But Rico Dowdle, the whole Chuba Hubbard Rico Dowdle thing last week is the one thing I wanted to say. It was. I knew it would be weird because they obviously wanted Chuba to come back in and play, but Rico Dowdle still looked like the bell cow that deserved more of the carry. So we'll see how that progresses, especially for fantasy football purposes.
Yeah, Rico
But
Dowdle.
I have a 30-18. I don't know.
30-18. Rico Dowdle looks unbelievable this year. I'll say from a perspective of Adrian, to your point of the please don't get a lunatic CTE Josh Allen game. I would like that as well, but also I'd like to point out he threw an interception against New England that was, in my opinion, a really stupid decision to try to throw a ball in a tight window. I listened to the post-game press conference on my long drive home at 1 a.m. from Buffalo to Rochester, and I heard him say that he thought it was a good decision to throw the ball and that he thought it was a bad ball. And then the exact same play against Atlanta, he threw the same pick. And I'm really hoping somebody can get in his ear and say, if it's not me, maybe Joe Brady, maybe Sean McDermott, maybe Haley Steinfeld.
If it's not you.
Can somebody just tell him that that's not that throws off the menu? I know you have a cannon, you have a hose, you have the best arm in the NFL, but teams know you're throwing that pass. Go watch the tape. Okay, it's the same play. So maybe it is a bad decision. Maybe it's not a bad ball. Maybe stop throwing that pass. I'm sorry. I'm done.
It should come from you. I feel like those other three names were probably 2, 3, and 4 on the list. Like number 1 should come from you.
His best friend.
Like Sean McDermott.
Of course.
in my dreams, his best friend. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so as to not have to interrupt, I'm going to get my handy dandy DraftKings and tell you guys.
You should have a notebook that you pull out with all of this on there.
Tell you guys that the 49ers are traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. While this may be this is shocking to me, Houston 1.5 point home favorites.
Stop it.
Yep. The news did come out today that Brock Purdy would be missing, so it could be.
Sorry, I know that's interrupting you.
I love it.
I needed to.
It could be a line moving situation, but 42.5 point over under, 1.5 point home. Houston Texan favorites over the San Francisco 49ers. Take it away.
All right. My opening comment was this sets up poorly for the Texans. Like, if there is a hashtag #iBleach game, it was the Texans Seahawks. That was a gross game to watch. And CJ Stroud could do nothing. Now, I understand Seahawks had a vaunted defense, but like, you're going against the Niners who don't have a terrible defense. I understand that they're missing pieces. I totally get it. But the offense is playing great. McCaffrey is, as you mentioned, RB1. What I will say is that the Texans have got a great defense. Stingy defense, but they can. I feel like at the moment, Christian McCaffrey, you can only stop him one way. They've got great pass defense, so he's going to run and he's going to run and he's going to run. And if you stop him on the run, then he's going to catch it out of the backfield. And he's kind of like Jamar Chase, sort of undeniable at this stage that he's going to get 80 plus yards at least, scrimmage yards, and that's a bad game. So I think with CJ Stroud and the offense, they've been dropping the ball literally in some cases, but they just haven't been playing well. Stroud is not making good decisions. Admittedly, I will accept that he was under pressure and he was running for his life constantly last week, but he was just making poor decisions. And you can't have your defense give you +3 on the turnover differential and still lose a game. And now you have the Niners coming into town. Rob Saleh has that defense playing fantastic, especially with pieces missing. All right, in that game against the Falcons, the Niners shut down Bijan Robinson. I just talked about how amazing he is, and they held him. I can't remember what it was, but it was a low yards per carry.
What a snooze fest that game was.
So yeah, I agree. So like, I'm kind of rambling here, but I guess my point is that I feel like the Niners are going to outmatch the Texans. I'm really shocked that they're favorites. That is a bet Kev's rent any day of the week for me. I feel like the Niners, they're one of those teams. One, Kyle Shanahan is great against his former disciples, D'Amico Ryans being one of them, and I just feel like the Niners are a playoff team, potentially an NFC West winning team, even though they're not nearly as formidable as they have been in past years. And so I can't imagine them dropping this game, because if they want to be that team that's going to make a run and get hot at the right time and get their pieces back at the right time, this is one you can't fumble. And things looking cloudy. I kind of came up with a pun on the fly there, but you get it. Yeah,
Stroudy with a chance of meatballs. I like it.
6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it was solid.
Would not pun
yeah,
again.
Shout out to Joe Crack, Adrian's league mate now. Tom Streamer's birthday. Gonna watch this back, but kill the stream. I'll be on soon. Happy birthday, Tom. That's his
Happy
nephew.
birthday, Tom.
We call him TK. That's Tommy Cool, man. TK is a good kid, and I'm in one of his fantasy leagues. I'm actually 6-1 in that league, so sorry for taking all your money. But Joe showed this to TK on his birthday, or at his party.
Ruin his day.
Yeah, sorry again, TK. I cannot wait to collect on my big old winnings. Yep, Jimmy, take it away with your. Did you give a score, Aid?
23-10 Niners.
23-10. Jimmy, take it away.
Yeah, the 49ers are another surprising team, just from the fact of how many injuries. If you would have said like the opposite, same thing as the Ravens, but like they actually have a good record, and like Mac Jones has been playing solid as a backup, which is surprisingly enough. The Texans, I don't think that's much of a surprise at all, just based off of what they did with their offensive line. I think their offense, they were like, and Joe Mixon just disappearing into a black hole and not existing anymore. That's always tough for your offense, but their Texans defense has been solid. 49ers defense is still good, but Christian McCaffrey, Mac Jones has been playing better than CJ Stroud, surprisingly enough. I don't know if Nico Collins is playing. Christian Kirk, yeah, Nico Collins and Christian Kirk are both out. So nothing's going right for that offense. So I'll go 20-16. Still somewhat close game. Niners.
Ooh, 20-16. Wow, yeah, you
Yeah,
are
what a
you're
year,
envisioning a close game. Yeah, great year. It was
It's not close. It's garbage time touchdown, and then
and that was
Niners get the
also
onside
actually
kick, and
a terrible
yeah.
year in hindsight.
I disagree.
Anyways, I think you guys we're all in lockstep. I've always thought that Mac Jones was not as good as people said he was when he first started playing football, and he was the second coming of Brady. But I never thought he was as bad as the absolute dumpster fire of his last couple years in New England. I always thought he was better than that, and I thought, if I recall correctly, Shanahan had a little draft crush on Mac Jones.
Yes, he did.
I recall correctly. So Mac Jones coming in being the backup here, kind of a perfect fit for Shanahan. Kind of looks amazing in that scheme. Like amazing with an asterisk, because it's a Shanahan amazing where you're a droid and you're doing what you're supposed to do, which is fine. Like if you do that, if you quote unquote game manage, if you're a game manager and you manage the game well, then you're a good player. Like Brock Purdy's made some of the most money in the NFL off of that. Does Mac Jones? Let's whisper here. This is like a timeline asleep time.
Okay.
Does is Mac Jones like not better than Brock Purdy, but like is there something there? Like
I don't think you're really whispering.
Is there something there?
I don't think so.
No, I don't want to tell people. I don't want to tell people, but yeah, like I don't think so either. I think they've paid Brock Purdy too much.
Okay.
But out loud, if they hadn't, I feel like there's a chance. There was the crush. There was absolutely a crush.
There's something there. Like there's chemistry. Like Mac Jones.
Do you guys remember who he took? Remember who he took instead of his crush?
Was it Trey Lance?
Trey freaking Lance. Like why?
Yep.
Where is Trey? Is he on the Chargers? He's on the Chargers.
Yeah,
He's not
Chargers-
whispering anymore. He's starting to yell.
Yeah, I think we're yelling.
Sorry, I'm getting
Okay,
fired
my
up.
bad.
Why is he allowed to get
But I
mad?
appreciate you guys for committing to the bit with me. That was really fun.
Anything for you.
Yeah, I think there's something there, and I think San Francisco is just the Texans have a good defense, so I do think they could make Mac Jones' life hell. I feel like over under 14 and a half times I've seen Mac Jones limp off the field and act like he's in the most agonizing pain I've ever seen, just to go back in for the next series in a couple games. I expect that kind of a day for Mac Jones, but I expect him to be able to put more points on the board than Stroud, and I think the Niners are going to win this one. I'll say 24-21, last second field goal.
Nice.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have the
Ray?
Browns. We have Hemi Ray talking about the Browns and the Patriots, and I am pulling out my handy dandy DraftKings. The Patriots are 7-point home favorites over the Browns with an over-under of, hold your breath, try not to throw up, 40.5 points.
Gross.
Ooh.
Very gross.
Give me
Okay.
the under. Give me the under.
Oh,
Easy. Bet Kev's rent on that.
on the under.
No, we've already talked about the Patriots at length for the most part since
Yeah.
Kevin decided to go the easy way out there and pick Mike Vrabel. Drake May obviously is playing well. Ramondre Stevenson's obviously going to be playing decent enough.
I love Honeyball, man. I
despite
hope
losing
he's
the ball.
watching.
Oh gosh. No,
Wait,
but I
that's
mean,
too-
Drake May
That was
is
too quiet.
You
what-
are
what-
ruining people's day, and I'm living for it.
That's such a great sound bit.
Excellent drop.
No, but I mean the Patriots, their offense is rolling despite the fact that I don't think anybody other than Kevin, I guess, thought their offense would be kind of the decision behind the 5-2 start that they've had and beating a certain team that I won't say out loud this season. But Drake May is top 5 in MVP odds so far, which is the most surprising thing other than the greatest team on earth playing in Indianapolis.
And the worst team on earth playing in Baltimore.
Yeah. Besides those two things, I'm just coming up with new surprises throughout this whole
Yeah.
this whole podcast. But they've been solid. Travion Henderson hasn't really been a part of the offense, which is kind of crazy. Adrian touched on that earlier. But their defense is obviously rolling. On the Brown side, we have Crenshaw. We have a lot of rookies, playing well for him. Dylan Gabriel, he's there. He's definitely playing. I wouldn't say he's playing like great or anything, but they had to give him a shot at some point. Trading Joe Flacco to an in division team is kind of interesting, but whatever. Quinshon Judkins has been, I mean, like you mentioned earlier, he's been a running back almost one pretty much. I mean, he missed the week 1 because of the contract issue, but he's been rolling. And if you have him on your fantasy team, you're obviously happy too. Harold Fan has been a solid tight end. I mean, obviously that defense is the best in the league, and that's the bright spot of the team. If you look at the Browns, you're like, this Browns team is going to win. It's because of their defense. It's because of Rashawn Gary. It's because Myles Garrett is going in there. But did I say Rashawn Gary? Whatever. But
That's my boy.
Yeah, I know. But the Browns have been solid. But, I mean, the Patriots, I know they have a very easy schedule, and it's probably going to continue. And the Chili's Day will definitely happen for Kevin. I'm sorry, Kevin, but there's no doubt in my mind they're hitting 9 wins. I'm going to go 2017, so the Browns do cover. I think that's a big spread for how low of a total that is. So that's always an interesting thing to think about for me. But in terms of betting, but 20-17, I have the Patriots winning, no doubt, by 3.
I'll put the Pats up as well by a bit more, 24-16. I just, it's funny because as you're talking through the Browns and
no, son.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and through some of those pieces, like there's an element of hope for Browns. If you can get someone under center that's actually competent and get in one decent wide receiver, like you've got some young great pieces there. And I love Judkins, I really do. He's, you know what, I hate that old trope of like he runs angry. It's like whatever, dude. But he does run angry, and I love watching him play. Like he just seems like he can make. He doesn't have to make people miss. He can just smash through tackles, and I love it. So I'm going to take the Patriots as well because I feel like the Browns. Well, I don't hate them because their defense is awesome. I don't think they're going to be able to stop Kevin's darlings.
I hate that that's the association, but it's my own fault. Yeah, the Patriots are going to dog walk them. I'll take. I think the Browns defense can at least slow the Patriots offense down. I'll say 27-19. New England. Next up, we have the Giants at the Eagles. We have Honeyball's Giants, the Darling Giants, the Jackson Dart-led Giants. Kind of a quick turnaround here. This is part 2, and I believe part 1 was like 2 weeks ago. So we all know what happened in the last game. A tad debaucherous, you might say, for those Philadelphia Eagles. 7.5 point home favorites with an over/under of 43.5. I'm excited about Jackson Dart, man. I love watching that kid play. I love his passion. I love his swagger. I think it's going to be really fun to watch this game. Philly's defense is solid, so I think they can do a little bit more than they did last time. I think they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. Also, if I recall correctly, they were missing a big piece. Maybe it was a Carter in that game.
Yeah, Jalen Carter. I think
Ja-
it was large part because of the turf. They didn't want him playing on the turf and stuff.
Is
So
he?
that was like
Is
a
he?
soft.
Is
He's
he?
playing.
He's playing.
He's back.
So then I do feel
Quinyon
like
Mitchell, I think, was out too. I don't know if
There's-
he's playing.
I do feel like there's a good chance the Eagles have a bounce back game here. They're kind of due. I know they won last week, but it wasn't really pretty. That's kind of their MO at this point, is just win, baby. I can't hate on it. But I think they're going to do okay. I think against the Giants defense, which is surprisingly also kind of playing pretty decently. Hilarious loss against Denver. One of the most hilarious losses I've ever seen. 19
Such
to
a good
nothing
game.
to start the fourth quarter, and somehow the final score is 33-32. Just absolute chaos. I think the Giants are probably reeling from that, and they'll probably come out pretty inspired in this, but I don't think they have what it takes to beat Philly on their home turf in the second divisional game in a row. So I think I'll take Philadelphia in a correction matchup, and I'll say 30-23.
I'll let you take it, Himi.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are the better team. I think the Giants got one up on them. I think let's talk about that game again for a second. That Giants-Broncos game last week, just going back and forth, was absolutely insane. But I love that Jackson Dart's playing for the Giants. I think that's brought a huge spark to the team. I think Cam Scadabo's brought a huge spark to the team. I think Brian Burns-led defense, I think, has been great for the Giants. But I don't think the Giants are going to get two on the Eagles. It's probably been like 20 years since that happened, like winning two straight against the Eagles. I don't know when the last time that was. I'll get a stat guy on that after this
Get the stack guy on it.
podcast. Yeah, I'll get my people. I got people working for me, little ants that just run that
Just little
Twitter account
ants.
every day. Yeah, little ants. I got an ant for it. They're in my closet right now working on it. So I'll send them a text. But no, I have 28-20. Eagles take it. I know their offense. AJ Brown's out this week, so that'll be tough. But I just have faith. Devontae Smith had 183 yards last week, which was the most since Jeremy Maclin for the Eagles. So there's a lot of bright spots in the passing offense and rushing offense. They just need to find their identity again. It feels so weird to say, but
Yeah.
I think that's just a reality for the team so far. It feels like every year at the starting point of the season, we're like, okay, which Eagles team is this going to be? It's like the Chiefs. That's annoying, but it's reality. So shout out to Tush Bush too.
Hell yeah, gotta
Yeah.
love it. Fellas, hold on
You
one
know.
second. I'm gonna pop right back on. I just gotta step out for a second.
Oh,
That's
perfect
all good.
timing.
Keep crushing
I
it.
wouldn't wanna
Keep
listen
holding
to
it down.
too.
Doesn't want to hear my
I'll
takes.
leave too.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, watching the show. So I disagree with you guys. Yeah, I think the Giants are going to take this one, and here's why.
Love it.
One, I feel like the Eagles are potentially heading for that season that they went through 2 years ago, where they kind of crashed and burned. I don't believe in Nick Sirianni as a coach. Oh, but he took him to a Super Bowl. I think he's relying on his coordinators, and I don't think he's got the right guys on offense this year anyway, and the results would say that as well. He's not going to have as long to pass. I get it that they beat the Vikings, the Carson Wentz Vikings, but I feel like the vibes are high in New York, and even though they lost that game, I just, that's kind of like hey, don't forget what we were. We were this embarrassing team that lost. There was videos of Brian Burns, getting very upset about the coverage on that final drive against the Broncos. So I think they're going to come back in here. I think they're going to be fired up. And I think they're going to win. I think they're going to take this year. I think that the pass rush is going to sustain Hurts, keep him in the pocket, force him to pass. Doesn't have AJ Brown there, which I know Devonta Smith went crazy last week, but he had AJ Brown as well, who also, did he pull in 2 touchdowns?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So-
He had like 4 catches, 5,000 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Something like that. I don't know.
So I think
But-
I actually think the Giants will come back in here, and I'll give them 27-21, similar to your score, just reversed.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jackson Dart. I think it'll come down to turnovers and stuff. And if Jackson Dart can play a clean game and move down the field, I think they're capable of that, especially with Cam. But that defensive line for the Eagles will be tough. So
I was so
hopefully
wrong
he doesn't
about
get-
Cam.
dude.
I
Oh
thought
my
he was not going
gosh,
to be
man.
good.
So much. I mean, not even that. It's just he's so much fun to watch. He screams, and that's why that was me at the beginning of the podcast. Where it's just like me wanting to scream, be like, "Oh, you know what I mean?"
See,
He
there
brings that
was a little
energy.
taste.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jackson Dart and Cam Scadabo, they brought the energy, but at some point the energy dies down a little bit. And you just gotta play safe and secure football.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But all right, I guess Kevin's not coming back, so we'll go
That's
ahead.
okay. It's just me and you. I mean, that's what matters. That's what matters really, anyway.
That's what happens. I'm
Uh,
on DraftKings right now. We got
And
Bucks
it sounds like
Saints.
we're gonna get our first appearance from my son.
Let's
as my door
go!
slowly opens.
Tell him to scream.
Okay, come on, buddy. Come on in. Okay.
Mike- oh, look, same time.
There he
time.
is. There
Did
he
he
is.
change?
Okay.
What's going on?
Who's
So
that handsome devil?
that's me, but you mean my son. You gonna
Look
say
at
hi,
that
buddy?
smile.
Hi.
What's up? Oh
All
my
right.
God! Look at
Let's go.
you.
All right. Can you say, Fabs? Can you say, Bucks are gonna win?
7.
Good job, buddy.
Yo, he is so wow. He's getting big.
He's getting big.
It's crazy. It gets
Um,
older
all right.
every year.
Timing, he can just sit on my lap for a little bit because this is a long pod. So Bucks at Saints. Actually, Kev, while you were gone, I pulled this up. So Bucks are a 3.5 point favorite on the road. There you go, buddy.
I have 4.5 too.
Oh, you got 4. I've got 3.5 currently.
Good. It's me in the middle.
Um,
4.
It's those European lines, man.
That's what it must be. This is a weird test for the Bucks. I'm not going to spend too long on this because I feel like the Bucks are winning this no matter what. I could be
Yeah,
wrong
and
on
we
that.
we can not spend too long on any of them because obviously I had to throw the work shirt on. We're all getting ready to. We'll not quite dynamite every game, but we'll pick up the pace a little bit.
All right. So I'll move through this quickly. Now, Mike Evans is out. That makes me the most sad that he's not going to hit 1,000 yards.
So
And
sad.
I get it. He's always going to be like, I
Boo.
hit it every year except this year, but there's always going to be that caveat, and I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Put him in
Devastating.
a wheelchair, man. Put him in.
Yeah, I think the Bucks win this, but I think this is a weirdly good test because they're going against a bad Saints team, and they got shut down pretty badly by the Lions, who like, okay, you go against a real contender and you get kind of embarrassed a little bit. So just go and beat up a bad Saints team. Don't go and just win. Don't go and win by field goal. Go and just beat them up and be kneeling down. Like just be running out the clock by the start of the fourth quarter. And if you can do that, I will continue to believe in the Baker Mayfield-led Bucks as I do right now. But I feel like there's a chance they go in here and struggle a little bit, division game, and then we start to question like, are these guys really did they get hot too early? So that's all I'll say. But I think the Bucks will take this. I will say they'll take it comfortably and they will cover comfortably on the road. Let's say 24-16.
Ooh.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't think we should give up on Baker Mayfield just because of last week. I mean,
Definitely not.
He's
course
lost
not.
so many receivers and stuff.
Yeah.
I think people are slowly like, should we after this game if he plays anywhere like that against the Saints, then we can start discussing it, like start the discussion, but not even believe it at that point.
Yeah.
But I guess I just started the discussion today. But whatever. Emeka Egbuka has been one of the big bright spots. I saw him on the top fantasy leaderboards and stuff, and that's one of the shocking things too of just him being so good. He's playing, right? How many? I mean, is anybody playing for the Bucks?
Yeah, no,
Hey,
he's
Luka's playing, I think.
Okay, then
he
we're
was
good.
limited in
Yeah.
practice. Limited in
Okay,
practice.
so no doubt he plays. Awesome. No,
Right.
but the Bucks have been solid this year. I think they're contenders, especially if anybody can get healthy before the playoffs. The Saints, Spencer Rattler's not. I mean, he's there. He's not awful. He's not. I don't think he's really like 1-6 bad, but that team is just before the season. We said this was going to happen with the Saints, and it's happening. So 24-17 Buccaneers, maybe.
24-17 Buccaneers.
He said 24-16.
24-16. I think
gotta
it's
go
going to be a.
24-18.
I think you guys are giving the Saints a little. Oh, it's the Colts. Oh, I was going to say I saw the Colts on the bottom of the screen. I was like, am I wrong? Am I just on the wrong?
That was me
I
queuing you to
I was
hurry
going to
up.
say
with your
that's
score.
low key. Oh, fair.
Get done with,
say-
dude.
I think you guys are giving the Saints too much credit. I don't think their defense is going to do much against the Bucks, even with no Bucky Irving, which that's the saddest thing for me. Oh my God, I love Bucky
Oh,
Irving.
yeah.
I've been devastated that he's been
your
out
boy.
5 weeks in a row. Mamma mia. But I think the Bucks are going to clean up. I'll say 34-17, easy.
I like
Yeah, you guys are giving the Saints too much credit.
That's true.
Jimmy Ray, take it away.
Also, Kevin, I will say Adrian picked the Giants over the Eagles, just so you are aware
Oh!
in case you need to rub it in.
Right.
Oh,
In case we need to
That's
rub
right.
it in.
oh yeah, we're gonna have to dog
But
him.
if he does send us a text, be like, told you, that's why.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you,
I
Titan
love it.
Maximum.
He didn't say it was a good. He just said bold.
I'll take
Oh,
I
it.
absolutely
Okay,
love it.
perfect. Okay.
Fortune
No, we've
favors the bold.
we've talked about the Colts. I don't really want to talk about the Titans, so I'll talk about the Colts again. The Colts have not lost to the Titans in 1,096 days. I don't think it's going to happen this week. That would be the most shocking thing of this season if the Titans beat the Colts. So
Yeah,
you can clip this. The Colts are going to win 37-16. It'll only be garbage time. I mean, Cam Ward has been very transparent in the press conferences and the media and stuff, which is always nice. But I don't know how that goes in the locker room. But they have been bad. L'Jarius Sneed's not playing this week either. But the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones, they'll put up 37, 40 points against the Titans, hopefully, and keep it going on to next week. So there's not really much to say other than whatever you guys want to say too.
I'm just going to agree and say that I had 40-17, which is very similar to your score. The Titans have been they kind of like, they didn't get any pop in the preseason and before the season, and Titans fans were all screaming about it. But it's kind of like this sort of explains why. And Callahan out the door, you got an interim coach. This is just a rough day all around. And it's a rough season for the Titans. I actually feel for them. Titan Maximum, if you're still there, bro, we're here with you. I hope you're okay by next season. But I'm just gonna say 40-17 Colts.
I do feel for the guy, and I think, I think you guys, once again, like, okay, Cam Ward's a rookie. Let's just take it easy with the dogpiling, right? Like, it's very easy to dogpile, but I think he'll put it together. He's always been this kind of player. He's a little volatile. I like watching him play. I know there's better flashes and better science than there was with Levis, right? So, like, I think the ceiling is way higher, and I think he can put it together. Let's see what happens before we, worst roster in the league, probably fair. A bit savage, but probably fair. Really, other than Tony Pollard, just almost nothing on the offensive side of the ball. I like their young guys. I like Iomanner and DK quite a bit. I think they'll be good complementary pieces through the years, but Ridley's probably cooked. Adrian's boy. I think
not anymore. I'm done with him.
Oh wow, we
set our pieces. It was an amicable split.
Where's the loyalty? Where's the loyalty? I'm looking forward to seeing how the Titans put together their offseason, but right now they should be in similar mode as the Jets, which is just go get a first round pick or go get a first overall pick. It's gonna be a dog walking once again. Let's say 38-20.
What's the line? I'm gonna look up the line.
I think it's like 13 and a half or something like
14
that.
and a half.
Probably still too low.
That's crazy.
Probably.
I'd still bet the over.
I'd love to know the last time the Colts had a minus 14 and
all
a
right.
half.
Cowboys at Broncos. Let me get my handy dandy lines here so as to not lead anyone astray. The Broncos are 3.5-point home favorites over the Cowboys, and the over-under is 50.5. The story of the Cowboys this season, unfortunately, despite their excellent offensive play, has been how absolutely Swiss cheese their defense has been. Really, truly, teams are just carving them up left and right. I am extremely excited for Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton and maybe RJ Harvey, maybe J.K. Dobbins, who seem to have woken up in the fourth quarter of the Giants game. I mean, they literally woke up because they were getting dog walked, and they ended up, figuring it out and winning the game. But I think it's important that we give the Cowboys their flowers for what they've done on the offensive side of the ball. Javonte Williams has looked like the guy who Denver drafted. Revenge game for Javonte Williams, #revenge game. George Pickens has looked like one of the best receivers in the league. Thank God CeeDee Lamb is back. I can't wait to watch him cook DBs again. But will he be cooking DBs in this game? Pat Surtain will very likely shadow him. I think Denver's offense greater than sign Dallas's defense, and Dallas's offense equal roughly signed to Dallas's defense, or Dallas's offense roughly equals Denver's defense. You guys know what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're saying. I think we're on board here.
I'm trying to be really fancy with it, and my brain power is not computing. I think Denver can make more noise on offense against Dallas's crappy defense than Dallas can against Denver's stellar defense. I do think it'll be a good game. 27-23 Denver.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Because if we were doing this analysis at the end of the third quarter last week, we'd have a very different take on what the Broncos were. And, it's all like, look, it's all they came back, and I'm not taking away from that because that was awesome. The NFL history, 33 points, all of that stuff. Like, I get it all. But I also don't think that's a sustainable way to play, right? So if you put up that same first half against the Cowboys, you're probably not going to come back and do the same or the same first three quarters. So I don't know about this one. I like the Cowboys, even though their defense is terrible. it's so funny to me that Jerry Jones has been mentioned as someone looking at Max Crosby, which is just absurd after you let Micah Parsons go. But let's
So
just
funny,
say
dude.
I'm going to say 24-23. I'm going to say a close game, but I like the Cowboys in this. And I kind
Ooh.
of like the Cowboys to stay relevant, into sort of December, January.
I think they should. Yeah. I mean, with that offense, there's no reason why they shouldn't. But their defense is putrid.
Where are they sitting right now? They're 3-3.
He's 3-1. Don't forget
Yeah,
the
3-3
one.
and 1. Sorry, well, that was against my boys.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Right.
gross.
No, I'm gonna be on the same side as Adrian here. I think the Cowboys offense will be a little bit better than how bad their defense will be. I'll go 30-24 Cowboys, and I have Javonte Williams in like 6 fantasy football leagues. So
Oh,
I am
I hate you.
absolutely. I've never loved a man as much as I love that man. I wouldn't trade him for 3 firsts.
Hurtful.
It doesn't matter.
Personally hurtful.
And
yeah.
big-
Wow.
And a big love for Dak Prescott. He's been
love
playing
Dak.
like an MVP, even without CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens, absolute balling out. I mean, that offense is very fun to watch, as much as their defense is not fun to watch. But it's fun to watch because the other team's balling out. So this is a game to watch if you're not watching the Colts Titans game at 4:25.
Nice.
Don't forget.
And we now have Adrian Revito's stellar Green Bay Packers, who we have, we'll talk a little more about this. We don't have to be as fast on this team because it's your team, bro. We got to give it your due diligence. But they are traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game where the Packers are 3-point road favorites with an over-under of 45.5. Adrian, take it away.
So this game is many things, and this game is, in my opinion, right? Because I boys, I bleed gold and green, but I just don't know who the Packers are. I'm not in the same frame of mind as I was at the start of the season. So to me, this is two teams that are trying to prove that they are legit contenders who we're sort of not sure about yet. What it is not, and what is awesome, is it does not seem to be a revenge game for either of these teams. As much as the media is trying to push that narrative, Rodgers has been glowing about Green Bay. Green Bay's been glowing about Rodgers. And I love that's not going to be the only thing. I'm sure it will be brought up many times, but it doesn't seem like that's the only storyline. The Packers at 4-1-1, they're better than they're not as good as their record is. And I will say that confidently. I think that they are finding ways to win in some games where maybe they shouldn't be struggling as hard to win. The Cardinals are a great example. The Bengals are a great example. But I also think that they're, that stat of like the youngest team in the league, this is their third year being that team. And so if you can find ways to win early and get hot later as the veterans in other teams start to get more tired and more injured, that's a good place to be. So I'm not unhappy with the Packers, but I also feel like the defense we saw in the first 2 games has kind of disappeared. It was nice to get Micah Parsons on the stat sheet pretty heavily last week. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be slightly jarring for me to watch the Packers play against Aaron Rodgers because for all his, I don't know, nonsense, shenanigans, whatever you want to call them, the dude was still like, the heart of Green Bay for
Totally
15 odd years. So, and he gave us a Super Bowl and he took us to the playoffs and to the NFC Championship many a time. So, I'm not going to take away from him. I also think the Steelers at 4-2 are probably not as good as their record. They lost to the Joe Flacco Bengals. And so both of these teams are kind of looking to move up from, hey, we're going to hang around until the wild card round to like, hey, I can play with the big boys. So this is the time to do it. The Steelers defense is not playing great. And considering you've got TJ Watt, one of the highest paid defenders on your team who's just sort of disappeared, that's not a good sign for them. But they've got Mike Tomlin. They will eventually get to 9 wins. Of that we have no doubt.
Death taxes and 9 wins.
Yeah, but I'm going to give the Packers the edge here. I'm going to say they're not even going to cover 3. I'm going to say, because they're going on the road. I haven't prepped a score for this one, but let's say 24-27. So just under.
Wow.
It's a bit chalk. Yeah, a bit chalk.
I like it. Jimmy, what do you got?
I'll go the same score here, but I think it is a revenge game. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to ball out. I'll go 27-24. Steelers. I agree with you on all facets.
Is this because I
think-
picked the under on the Colts at the start of the season? That was
Yeah, I think
everyone
it's
did that.
absolutely that. So it's actually
Guys,
that's in my notes right here.
We
I'm like,
all
just
took the
absolutely
under on the
torch
Colts.
Adrian.
Let's be fair. That team looked like it was going to be the biggest dumpster fire in the league, Jimmy.
Yeah, but
Hunt-
Adrian after like week 3 just kept texting me. He's like, the Colts suck, the Colts suck.
Don't dig up the receipts of me and Hunnaball's episode where we found out. I forget what offseason news it was where the Colts were like the punching bag, and we just dogged them, and now we look like such idiots.
yeah, I mean everybody does. So it's
Yeah.
not.
I wrote an
Anyways,
article.
let's
I wrote
go
a
back to
spot.
the-
Sorry.
Yeah. No. What was the
No, no,
article?
no,
I
no,
want to
no.
know the.
I write a sports betting article weekly, and the first, it was maybe the second or third Daniel Jones game, and I was like, guys, don't buy in. This is as fugazi as it comes. His downfall's coming. Bet the under on the yards. Hit the over by halftime. Next week, guys, I'm telling ya, it was a blip. Bet the under. Hit the over by the first half, and now I've stopped. Hating on Daniel Jones with the Colts.
Yep, you lost enough American.
Start
Well,
betting
actually,
over, dude.
you've lost enough euros.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
gosh. No, this is like my upset kind of pick, but I think the Steelers. I do agree that the record's kind of. I think they've been playing poorly, especially on the defensive side, but there's
Yeah.
still hope.
Their
There's
win
still hope.
against
They
New
still got
England
guys.
was absolutely ridiculous. They had no business winning that game.
Thank
New
you.
England turned the ball over 5 times. But yeah, I got to give Adrian credit. So let me give you a little details, Adrian, here on my Packers relationship this year. They trade for Micah Parsons. I'm like, okay, they're obviously going to win the North. Like they're obviously going to be one of the best teams in the NFL. I had a large amount of shares tied up in Detroit winning the North before the Parsons trade. My stock in that sunk. I watched that stock plummet, and I watched the cash out. I put like 50 on it. They were like, oh, your cash out is like 20. They were like, Detroit ain't winning. Then you guys lost to, what was it, the Browns?
The Browns.
And I was like, and my Detroit stock skyrocketed. And I'm like, oh, I thought Green Bay was one of the best teams in the league. They made Jaden Daniels look like a human in week 2. And now I'm like, will the real Green Bay please stand up? And I need it. I need to see who that team is before I make any more concrete decisions. I'm not selling my Detroit stock, buddy. I'm not doing it.
They're sitting in tier 2 no matter how you look at it. They're not with the big boys yet, and I stand by that. This is ironically the greatest start to a season for Jordan Love of all his starting seasons. Ironically, he started better than any other season. But if he has his, it's a running joke. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a running joke that during the Toyota-thon he plays his best. if he happens to elevate his game and stop making some poor decisions because he's thrown some dumb interceptions. Sorry, I've taken back over. But, it's my boys.
Yeah.
Then
They're
I
your
feel
boys.
like they can be that team that we expected them to be in the back half of the season. I really do feel that.
I love it, man. I'm happy for you. I will take Green Bay to win and cover. I think Green Bay's going to win this one pretty decisively. I'll say 27-17. And we have one last final game and the longest podcast, maybe in podcast history, apart from the draft ones. We'll be
Any
wrapping up.
podcast ever.
Maybe
Yeah,
any
no
podcast. Yeah,
has
this might be the
ever
longest podcast
gone
of all
this
time.
far, yeah.
And I think let's strap it up.
Strap it up.
We got Marcus
Oh.
Mariota. We got Marcus Mariota in a primetime game. Yep. Cover your ears. Who's covering this? Is this Jimmy?
yeah.
He's second.
Yeah, oh,
yeah,
to
yeah,
it is.
Jimmy.
Oh,
Jimmy, I'm
gosh.
sorry you got 2 Dynamite games. I'm a
I
jerk.
forgot.
I'm
Oh
a mean
gosh.
host.
Marcus Mariota might be better than we think. The Commanders score a lot of points when they play him. So surprisingly enough, I still have the Chiefs winning because they're playing good football right now. Travis Swift is pretty good.
Travis Swift.
28-24 Chiefs. Commanders defense awful. But Chiefs defense, whatever. But Commanders are getting a lot of people back. So Sam Cosmi, Terry McLaurin, Debo Samuel, blah, blah, blah. 28-24.
2024
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Kansas
Yeah,
City,
Chiefs-
Missouri.
I'm going to second that. I do think the Chiefs are going to win this game. And the line is swung all the way up to 12.5. I feel like I might be getting into buying Washington territory, but it's my final score prediction is 20-30. I have Kansas City winning that game because I think Mahomes is finding that magic again.
Yeah, Chiefs are winning this 32-23 is my score because the Chiefs are good, and that's the storyline that we all freaking hate to hear.
We both have them covering, and so does Jimmy. We all have Washington covering a 12.5 point spread. Maybe one more time.
definitely.
One more time for the road age.
That's a
What?
big spread.
Oh,
more-
wait, yep. I don't want. Where is it? I wasn't ready. Jimmy's elapsed like just that tiny bit long dance is my favorite thing.
Dance
We-
the whole time, man.
We somehow managed to do it. We somehow managed to get through every single NFL game, which it's by apocalypse, so that's the fewest amount of games that we're ever going to cover, and we still took 2 hours because we're all freaking yappers. I'm only slightly embarrassed at the gabbing that took place today, and I'm way more proud of it than I am embarrassed. I'm Kevin Phillip Fox. I had a great time taking care of you guys today. Adrian and Jimmy, any awesome parting words? I'm not sure what that is. Those player cards.
Yeah, I'm collecting Daniel Jones
Oh,
football
sick.
cards. If anybody has any, I didn't really. My friend gave me these.
I
So,
saw
thanks,
one at
guys.
my local
Thank you.
dumpster the other day. I'll go fish it out for you.
Okay,
and
yeah,
ship it to you.
these have a bunch of dirt on them and stuff, so
I love
I
it.
need to clean them off a little bit. But go Giants, right? Anyways, yeah, that's it. My headset's about to die.
Age.
Hashtag make the New York Empires happen.
Hashtag make the New
Stand-
York Gents happen.
The Jets, boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kevin Phillip Fox. You've been watching the Legit Football NFL podcast. It feels so good to be back, and we are